Miami's Community News, and our guest today is Francisco Calderon from Miami-Dade Solid Waste. Thank you very much for being here, Frank.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about how Dade Countyans, all right, are affected by the garbage pickup. Who gets garbage pickup, which are the green ones in unincorporated Dade County, and the blue ones that's through the county but a private vendor. So tell us about how many people are affected by this.
Sure. We pick up for about 340,000 homes, and then the number can fluctuate because we pick up garbage and recycling, and I believe that number is about 340,000, and that's in unincorporated Miami-Dade County. And there are like 9 or 10 municipalities, I don't remember the exact number, that we do the garbage pickup service and recycling service for. And then there's about 9 or 10 municipalities that we pick up recycling only for through our contractor. And we don't pick up their garbage. South Miami, to give you an example, where we're at right now, South Miami is one of those.
So this is a pretty big job. Takes a lot of people. It's not just the trucks, it's about the people, all right, on both ends, all right? So number one, is the county right now looking for waste truck drivers?
We don't have, and I actually checked this time, we don't actually have an announcement at the moment, but we always have a need for drivers. It's industry-wide, and it's not just the solid waste industry, it's beyond that. Anybody that has a CDL now is in high demand. Anybody's interested in working for us, check the miamidade.gov/jobs. And eventually we'll put it out there again.
So that starts with the CDL, which is commercial driver's license.
Yes.
So what does that in itself entail?
Well, I'm not familiar with all the requirements. I'm pretty sure we got to drive something bigger than a regular car or even an SUV. It's a truck. There's certain steps you have to take, just like you do when you test for driving a car, so
you have
special license.
You have a training program. Take them out in the kind of truck it is. You got your training grounds there.
Yes.
And there's 2 seats.
Yes, there's 2 seats in the truck. And I should note a little distinction. I don't believe that we train for this, and that's a good question that I'll ask our HR. We don't train for the CDL per se. It's once you have the CDL, they'll train you specifically to the garbage truck.
And so
and how
it's this
that works.
big joystick. So if there's some young man or some young woman enjoy doing that, playing the games, they can do that. And the joystick controls the arm that goes down.
Yes.
And it picks up the garbage can.
Yes.
When the arm grasps the garbage can, that takes a lot of talent to be able to line up the truck and the garbage can, and enough space between them to be able to wrap it around.
Yes.
And let's talk about space, because that's where a lot of us are either diligent or not. What's the ideal space so we can make it easier for the drivers?
The ideal space is 5 feet. We don't expect you to go out there with a tape measure. The easiest way to measure the distance is just stick your arms out.
Frank,
make sure one cart is here and the other cart's there.
Every
don't
time
put them
I
together.
put it up, Sunday's my favorite day, all right? And I go stand, and now I got it figured out. But I'll stand out there. I'm going, Frank is thinking of me. Okay, people look at me. What are you doing? I said, I'm making it easy. I'm the driver. So they drive. They joystick, cameras, mirrors. They take it and they sort of pound it, take the garbage out, and it goes into the garbage truck, trash.
Yes.
And I know we've been over it before, but some of our viewers probably don't have an idea about how many green cans filled with garbage can go into one of those trucks.
Roughly 550. Roughly, that's a ballpark, 550 to 600.
So after that trash goes in there, at some point you keep compressing it.
And at some point you cannot compress anymore, so they have to about halfway through their route, which the typical route is about 1,100 homes. So about halfway through the route, which 550, 600, they have to dump, and then they have to come back to finish their route.
And Frank, typically, how long does it take for somebody to pick up 1,000 plus cans? Is that residents or cans? Or is that about the same?
It's residences.
Okay.
Residences, and some of them have 2, but most people have only 1. Roughly, well, they're officially on a 10-hour day. It depends on the route. If your route is if you're picking up mostly townhome communities, all the cans are going to be lined up right next to each other, pretty much, hopefully 5 feet apart. If you're picking up in the Redland, you've got longer driving distances between each home you have to pick up.
So often when I watch movies from the 50s and 60s and 70s, I see the garbage can, the guys holding on the back. Very reminiscent for people our age, you know.
Yeah.
Where's Andy Mayberry? Right around the corner, don't worry. There's the oak tree and the bicycle and the push lawnmower. So, but today those are pretty big trucks. Mm-hmm. And you have some electric trucks, or at least one electric truck. Yes. And it stays in the Doral area.
Yes.
Is the capacity for garbage about the same?
That one, I don't know. That one's smaller. We do have some and that's not the only one that we have that's smaller. We do have some smaller ones for special situations. There's some streets where you can't, I was speaking about townhome communities a minute ago. Sometimes you go to these communities that have their own private roads, and you can't, it's too small. The streets are too narrow, and so we use smaller trucks for those type of areas.
So, there's been a lot of talk about recycling, and I think you go through phases across the universe. Years ago, it was recycling like crazy, and now it's like, okay, so it's sort of mainstream. There's not the excitement that there was before because we all wanted to do something. But the county has a pretty vigorous recycling program. Tell us simply what can go into those blue cans.
What can go in the blue carts? It's paper, cardboard, cartons, bottles, which include glass bottles or plastic bottles. And that's the key giveaway, although we now accept one item that I'll get into in a minute. And cans, which can be beverage cans or food cans. And then the additional items that we have with a plastic, the only other type of plastic besides bottles would be like yogurt and butter tubs. That's the only other type of plastic we accept. We don't accept the like where the strawberries come in or fruit comes in. Don't accept that. We don't accept plastic. Absolutely no on the plastic bags.
That's because the people that buy that, they're not set up. But in other jurisdictions, in other areas, somebody might have that. Are there some jurisdictions, areas that accept the plastic bags you can get from a grocery store or from a drugstore?
Well,
the ones that are really strong?
The plastic bags are are unique. I'm not aware of anybody that accepts it in their regular residential recycling program. I do know there are a lot of retail stores that will take them, and they'll take. I can't speak for all of them. I know Walmart. I know Publix takes plastic bags. Walmart will take, supposedly, from what I've seen, the ones I've been to, they'll take not just their bags, but they'll take even like dry cleaning bags, stuff like that. But always check the store first. That's the thing.
So
always
not all things that appear to be recyclable are.
Yeah, at least not in our program.
But again, Broward might be different, or Los Angeles. So if somebody's not sure, what should they do?
They can call 311. If they are our customer, they can go to our website, Miami-Dade.gov. For recycling specifically, they can go to Miami-Dade.gov/recycling, which will take you to the recycling pages specifically on our website. But the main website for us is Miami-Dade.gov/solid waste.
And speaking of websites, I had the opportunity 2 times yesterday to go to Miami-Dade.gov/solid waste. One was on the side of the road. A foot from the street was a boulder about this big. Yes, I'm talking about a foot. So every day I pass it. On weekends.
A boulder, like a big rock.
Yeah.
Somebody just
and I keep looking
at
it. Every day I'm driving by, and I go, I know one day me or somebody else is going to. If you're off this road, you're going to hit it.
Somebody's going to hit it. Yeah.
So yesterday I'm driving, and I realized on the top of it, it's all fresh. That means somebody hit it. So I go to Miami-Dade.gov, solid waste, whatever. And so I described it perfectly with my phone number. And I said it was a 2x2, which it is. At least like us. Wow. And if you hit that, you're going to damage your car. Interesting enough that there was a truck that was using it like as a guidepost. Their bumper was right, their back bumper was right up. And I'm thinking, well, why don't they just call somebody and ask them to move this? All right. If I didn't think I would hurt myself, I would have moved it myself. But I'm sure they're going to come out. I'll keep you posted on that. And then the other being that the hurricane season is coming up. Hate to say it, folks. And I went around the yard on Sunday. Thank you very much. And I'm looking around. I go, so we have Eureka's, and then a wooden fence, and then a metal fence. Well, the wooden fence, I moved in that house in 1992. It's from them. So the wooden fence is being held up by the Eureka's and by the chain link fence. So I tell our guy, I need you to take it, the Eureka's were done. And the first thing he said is call the county, see when they can pick up, and I'll do it then. 5 minutes later, I'm in the house, really simple, right? Whatever it was. And they go, here are dates and how many openings we have. I picked a date. I picked April 6th, for Saturday. They said, and this is what they said, really important, folks, which was you can put it out on April 3rd.
Yes.
And I'm going, and I tell our guy, do not put it out before the 3rd.
And
right?
don't put it out April 7th either.
Yes. So he's going to do that. I think it's Wednesday or whatever it is. So my question, and I didn't, I thought it was just the Eureka's, but there was some, you could say construction stuff. I went back, I tried to fix it, but I don't think that I could. But I read the stats on it, said they allow only a little bit.
3 cubic yards.
3, yes, relatively small. So I told the guy, don't mix them, but put it out. And if they don't take it, that's fine. I'll get our guy to haul it away. And it's important not to mix it in there because it doesn't make them very happy.
Yeah, and the thing too with the construction demolition, we can also take that to our TRCs if they won't take.
So I was reluctant to tell the guy, he speaks enough English to understand that I'll take it, because I didn't want him to laugh too hard. All right, when I said I'll take it, I said just leave it there. Let's see, I'll get it taken care of. Anyway, really simple. 2 times yesterday, and on the one, they asked for my name and information for the boulder. I happily did that. Obviously, you need it for the second one, but it was really easy on both things to be able to do that, especially the bulky waste pickup, which people can go there, and it outlines it perfectly. It got 3 pictures of 3 different houses, curved, straight up front. This, and the calendar was very effective. So we could have said sometime in April, and so when I got done, it was like, wow, easy enough. And I was waiting until I could be in front of a computer to be able to do that rather than to call them, because I think it's healthy for all of us to do that. So that's Miami-Dade.gov/solid waste. And I noticed on there's things for to watch some videos, if I remember right.
Yes.
And I think there were some icons in there for some schools, I think. They're on there. There's something about doing some marketing, some public relations. So school teachers, all right, see if there's something for them so the kids can see that. So, and you mentioned about the TRCs, this trash recycling center.
Yes. We've
got them all over. So tell us where some of those are.
We have 13 of them, and they're all over North Dade. They're in South Dade, West Dade. We have, as far north as Golden Glades. We have one at like 100 Northeast, also 180 something street past in the Miami Gardens area. We have Palm Springs North, which is the Miami Lakes area, or close to Miami Lakes. We have the ones down in the south. We have Snabber Creek, the one by FAU, which is one of the most popular, and it tends to get quite busy there. But we have others. We have the one on by Indian Hammocks Park, Kendall Drive, on 107th Avenue between Kendall Drive and Sunset, and we have points further south. Those are the ones just off the top of my head that I remember. 13 in total. So
most of the vehicles there are trucks. When they pull up there, those are privately owned trucks, right? And you need to be a resident of Miami-Dade County.
It is for resident. You have to receive service from us.
And then sometimes the people in the landscaping business will be there, but they've already purchased.
Yes, that's the only exception.
Tickets, if you will, yes, to do that.
Yes,
and it's very convenient, obviously, for these guys. And so, like my landscaper, he didn't want to use up his stuff and take it. Put it on your nickel, Miller. And so, what can people throw out there
at the TRCs? Pretty much similar items to what you can throw out of bulky waste. The one difference that's notable is with bulky waste, for example, you can put a mattress out there, but you have to put it in a huge plastic bag, basically like mover. You get like a moving bag. You don't need to do that at the TRCs. You can just bring the mattress in and just dump it. You can bring old furniture. You can bring old appliances. Tree clippings, lawn clippings, that sort of thing. You can't bring household garbage, like the garbage from your kitchen. No to that. But you can't do that in bulky waste either. Some TRCs accept items such as electronics. Some, not all. Check our website. Some of them will even take used motor oil. We've actually expanded to 2 or 3 in recent years. We had a few, and then we've added 2 to 3 more the last few years. Our website tells you exactly what each one will accept.
So a perfect Saturday morning for me would be put on my work boots and my jeans, go to Home Depot, buy a bunch of stuff, drop it off at the house, work with the landscaper, cut all this stuff, put it in the truck, and then go to the TRCs with a rake and a shovel. I'd be all in charge. I said it's just a guy thing for some guys, all right? So, but there is something unique about that, and it's a great experience for your young children to be able to say, "This is what we do with our trash." So, I was looking in one of our closets the other day, and we probably had about 7 containers of paint, and it was like, okay, all right. 5-gallon ones, 1 gallon, and then the little guys. I didn't even look what was. I wasn't ready for that next step. But what can people do with paint?
All right. They can bring them to our home chemical collection centers. We have 2. They will take the paint and make sure it's properly disposed of. If the paint is in good shape, they can actually offer it to other residents to come, first come, first serve basis. If the paint is in good shape, you could probably consider giving it to a nonprofit organization that could use it. If the paint is in so-so shape, bring it to us for proper disposal. If the paint is completely dry, and I mean completely dry, not a little bit of liquid, you can just throw it in your garbage. And I should note, with the home chemical collection centers, I mentioned we have 2 centers. The addresses are available on our website, Miami-Dade.gov/solid waste. But more importantly, this year we're starting up again what we did last year, home chemical mobile events, which are located at our TRCs and may be closer and more convenient to you. We'll be posting a schedule on our website very soon.
I know the last one you did, or one of the last ones over at Hamex, I think, or the one on 107th.
Yeah, the Sunset Kendall.
Sunset Kendall. And
close to me.
That was
and I used it myself. Okay. I was like, been waiting to
and people specifically went there to do that. They just weren't driving by. They said, I got this stuff.
Yeah, it's if they live in that area, it's perfect. For me, it was perfect.
Yeah. So, and that's where, again, that's 100.
That one is 107th between Kendall and Drive and Sunset Drive, right by Indian Hammocks Park. There's a special
so when you pull
entrance
up there, it's
just to the north of the entrance.
There's
for Indian
a whole
Park.
other stuff that's back there.
Yeah.
All right. Because there's really only a couple streets between Sunset and Kendall, and that's one of them. And they've got some apartments back there, some healthcare facilities as well. And so let's talk about old tires. What do we do with old tires?
Old tires, if they're car tires and not truck tires, you can take them to our TRCs. What I don't remember now is if we take them, that's something I got to research, if we take them for bulky waste. Otherwise, you have to preferably talk to a tire shop. And if they won't take them for you, they will at least give you leads. Tires can be problematic. They're unsightly when they're just littered around. If they catch fire, once they catch fire, there's no way to stop them. And the other issue with them is another issue that my department deals with. They breed mosquitoes. Mosquitoes love to lay their eggs in tires.
So somebody was nice enough to leave us 3 huge truck tires.
Oh, wonderful.
It cost $180 to have somebody come out, pick them up, and haul them away. All right?
They left them on your property? They left them out?
Yeah, right in the middle of the parking lot.
Oh,
right?
lovely.
Very nice.
Oh, here, okay.
Yeah, and it's like, on a commercial piece of property. And they go, this is how much it is. Or you can take them, Miller. I said, I don't have a truck big enough, plus we're not strong enough to pick those up. So, and I'm glad you brought up about mosquitoes. And we know that there are mosquitoes all year round, but as it gets a little warmer, which is coming up, folks, it's it's April 1st, and happy April Fool's Day, right? And mosquitoes are going to be back in vogue real soon.
Yeah.
And I know the department has a new department head. We are pleased to be able to meet him. And we know that they have traps out, and they can measure long before the homeowners know what to do. But speaking of traps and things like that, what about the camouflage cameras that the Public Works has out?
Right. Yeah, the ones that we use for illegal dumping?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. We have them in various places. We have some cameras that we can move around, and we have some that are fixed positions. The police department has an illegal dumping unit because it is a crime, and they have cameras of their own. And we've worked with them. We've had in the past, we've had situations where they caught part of a tag, and luckily enough, our camera caught the other part of the tag, and we were able to catch somebody like that. So yeah,
on the Miami-Dade.gov/solid waste, they have some stories about arrests that were made, which I thought was very, very, very good. So if people are wondering whether they should take it to a dump or dump it on the side of the street. If you dump it on the side of the street, the odds are, number one, you're going to get caught, and if you're not, you're going to be wondering about it, right? And the cost to us as taxpayers and to your neighbors, I'm going to guess it's 20 times more than you just driving down the street and paying whatever it is to dump it in there. I do want to thank whoever's cleaning up 118th Avenue on my way home. Not that I look at it all the time, but I drive by. And so often we see that it's not dumping, but little pieces of paper, not so much cigarette butts anymore, and little stuff that people are throwing out the window. That's slightly different than taking your truck and dumping the stuff that's there. People have asked me, how can we sponsor a road, which means a couple times a year they need to go out and clean it up. Who should they speak to first?
That is more of an FDOT thing, so they should check with the FDOT. It's mostly, I've noticed that, I know what you're talking about. I've noticed those signs on state roads. And a lot of roads you may not think, typically a lot of the big corridors, Bird Road, Sunset, Kendall Drive, I believe, at least Sunset, I know not the whole thing, but part of it is a state road. So yeah, that falls under state jurisdiction, FDOT, basically, and they have that program.
And I don't know what's called, sponsor a road or something, clean up.
I know what you're I've seen the signs. I just can't think of what they call it exactly. Adopt a road.
Adopt, that's it. So we're getting ready to wrap up, but let's talk about the hurricane season. It's coming up. There's already April. Yeah. By June, that's when it's going to be. But we have April showers bring May flowers. So we know it's going to start raining. So we're going to have more mosquitoes and more storms. What are some things people can do now, looking around their yards, so there won't be a rush come June, July, August?
We always tell people, do it now, do it now. Now you just gave the perfect example. You had only a week's lead time to get your bulky appointment in. There's no better time when it's that short. That's when you want to jump in. So now's the time, literally, before hurricane season comes, before you get the mad rush. Get your stuff done in your yard that needs to get done. Any trimming of trees, removing of just junk you might have lying around, which some of that junk, by the way, can also breed mosquitoes. If it collects water, it can breed mosquitoes. Get rid of that stuff and use one of your bulky waste pickups now, and you'll be in good shape when heaven forbid, you'll be in good shape if a hurricane comes our way.
We live in a sort of a rural area, so there are huge trees from our neighbors, like from the property line over the house.
Oh yeah.
So I went last year. I go, listen, you got to do this. Just cut the trees. And so now there's nothing that can fall. It could be blown, but it's not going to fall when it cracks and do anything. And people should look around their homes and figure out what they need to do. Bulky waste pickup typically from the time you would pick up, it's typically how long? A week?
You have if there's a lot of demand, it could go a couple of weeks, but you pointed out it was about a week before you had the date that you could pick. You have 3 days to set it out before. And yeah, now's the time. If you wait till the storm is heading our way, now that we have an appointment system, you might find that if the storm is supposed to come on X day, that there's nothing available until after that.
And that's the trigger. What's going to happen? Oh, there's a storm. We better do the.
Everybody's going to jump in, and it's going to be. You're going to find yourself like going to the grocery store trying to find that last case of water floating out after everybody's gone and taken all the water. Same thing.
All right. Frank Calderon, thank you so much for being here. Folks, thank you for joining us. And Rachelle, thank you for producing the show. And remember, take care of yourselves and your family.